Hi, Deborah Rogers here. We're going through Back to Basics. This is chapter 2 of Mastering the Science of Getting Rich. The name of this chapter is, excuse me, There is a Science to Getting Rich. And I'm going to tell you why there is a science to getting rich. There is lots of info in this chapter, so please bear with me. There's quite a bit. There is a science to getting rich, and it's an exact science like algebra or arithmetic. There's certain laws that govern the process of acquiring riches. Once these laws are learned and obeyed, any man or woman, did you hear me? Any man or any woman can get rich and will get rich with mathematical certainty. I love that. I love that. It takes away every excuse. This chapter takes away every excuse that we could ever have on why we're not wealthy, why we're not rich. In order to become rich, we need to find someone in the field that we want to get wealthy in, doing what we want to do, and we need to mirror and match that successful person, the person that's already wealthy, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that too. Warren Buffett, let's talk about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is an amazing man. He is constantly, if you check, he is constantly in the upper 5% of the wealthiest people in the world. Now let's go back. How did Warren Buffett first become wealthy? Well, he heard about a book that was written by Benjamin Graham. He went to this library when he decided that he wanted to be wealthy because he had nothing. He was very, very poor when he was young, and he had absolutely nothing. He heard about this book for investors. He went to the library, He went to the library and he asked the librarian, what book do investors read, check out and read the most? The librarian said, well, we have this book over here by Benjamin Graham. And that's the book that people check out and read the most that are investors. So he checked out the book. He read the book. A few years later, he went to Benjamin Graham and he said, I want to be your apprentice. I want to learn from you. Benjamin Graham says, why on earth would I take you on as an apprentice? Just tell me that one. He said, well, I have enrolled in Columbia Business School, which is the school that Benjamin Graham enrolled in. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And he also said, I read your book. I did everything that you told me to in a certain way. I'm 19 years old and I have $62,000 in the bank. That totally blew Benjamin Graham's mind. He hired him on the spot and also took him on as an apprentice. He said, I can teach you. You are teachable. You understand how to mirror and match a successful person. So that's what we want to do. We want to learn how to mirror and match successful people in the field that we want to become successful in. So now we're going to talk about, there are 3 types of people in the world. Okay, the first group of people in the world are the clueless, the ones that absolutely never get it, never understand, they whine and they cry because things weren't given to them, and they will never follow successful people. They'll never do what they're supposed to do. It's because their ego gets in the way. I'm sure you know people like this. Ego means edging God out, or stands for, I'm sorry. They are the know-it-alls. And this is never going to work for them because they refuse to mirror and match other people. In order to get rich, you have to do things like we talked in the last chapter in a certain way. Now we're talking about mirror and matching. We're talking about doing things in a certain way, just like the wealthy people do. Tony Robbins was asked, oh, let me back up, I'm sorry. The second group is the right fighters. No matter what, they are right. They are right, they are right. They are never going to do as somebody else did. They're in competition and they think it's all about competition and they're going to be right no matter what. You have to be wrong if they're right. So they're not going to do this. They will never be rich. The third group is the group that says, hey, I'm miserable. I don't like my life the way it is. I have no money. I am broke. I need more. I want more. I desire more out of life. I know there has to be a way. And they find somebody in the field that they want to be wealthy in, that they love to do, that fills their passion. And they go to that person and they say, hey, I'm coachable. Please teach me. Teach me how to get what you have. If you teach me how to get what you have, then I will have what you have. There is enough to go around, believe me. Now, if we look back about a certain way, doing things in a certain way and not questioning it, we're going to see Tony Robbins. Let's look at Tony Robbins for a second. If you were to ask, and people have asked Tony Robbins how he got where he is, what did he do? Who did he follow? How did he become the magnificent, inspirational speaker that he is today? He'll tell you, he followed Jim Rohn. He did what he did, so he got what he got. Let's look at Jim Rohn for a second. Jim Rohn, he says on his tapes and CDs and DVD and videos, he followed Earl Shoaff. He did everything that Mr. Shoaff told him to do. What happened to Jim Rohn? He mirrored, he matched what Mr. Shoaff did, so therefore he got what Mr. Shoaff had. There is enough to go around. There really is, and it will come to you. When Earl Shoaff was asked, how did you get to be the person that you are? Who did you follow to become the person that you are? How did you get what you have? He said, I studied and I followed Earl Nightingale. It's a no-brainer. Earl Nightingale, where did he get the information? Let's follow it up the food chain here. Where did Earl Nightingale get this information? Where's my book? This, can you see that? This is where he got the information, how he got what he got by mirroring and matching. He followed the principles in this book. The principles in this book that I'm going to teach you, we're not to the principles yet, but I'm going to teach you. We got a couple of chapters to go yet. So if you want to succeed, then you have to find a person that makes money, that is successful in the field that you want to become successful in. Mirror and match them and ask them to help you. They will help you. So the thing we want to pay attention to in this chapter is the certain way, doing things in the certain way. Whatever excuses we have, whether it's inability to learn, whether it's attention deficit, whether it's problems from our childhood, no matter what the problem is. If you sit down at a computer and you go to a Google search engine and you type in whatever excuse or whatever problem that you have, and also stars that have overcome this problem, you're going to find out that you're not alone. You're not the only person that has that problem, but it is an excuse. It's a crutch for not fulfilling your destiny, for not being who you were created to be. We have to overcome our shortcomings. We have to find the resources. And a person that can teach you is a resource. It should be our goal in life to find that resource, to find that person that can help us. And then we can mirror and match that person. It's just like making a cake. It's just like it. If you can follow a cake recipe, or if you can follow any cooking recipe, if you've ever done if you were ever in the military, if you were ever in martial arts, you can follow, you can mirror and match what other people have done, because it's the same exact way. You don't, when they say A, you don't go to C, you go to A. You do exactly what they tell you to do. You mirror and match exactly what they do. It's following a simple recipe. Professional coaches learn from other professional coaches. I have learned from professional coaches, and I can teach you these principles. The problem with, let's look at network marketing. It's near and dear to my heart. Network marketing, the problem with network marketing is the company will hire someone or appoint someone and look at them and say, okay, you've taken this training through our company. You are now a coach. I've experienced this. And what I ended up with was a Frankenstein business. Can you believe that? A Frankenstein business. That's what I call it. Because I had parts that I did from this person, and parts from that person, and parts from this person over here, and parts from the coach, the self-appointed, company-appointed coach that I was supposed to be doing, mirror and matching that person that had no results, that couldn't teach. First of all, they didn't know what they were doing because they only took a class to learn how to do this. And who's to say that the person that was teaching the class had ever done what they were teaching? Did they read it out of a book? Did someone that was documented teach them? That's why it is so important to find out where your information comes from. Ask, question everything. Just like with Jim Rohn, with Tony Robbins, with Earl Shoaff, with Earl Nightingale, you need to be able to track where the information came from. If they don't have a map, if they can't tell you or show you exactly where the information came from, then find somebody that can. That's my best information for you, my best advice. I can teach you because I have learned from my millionaire mentors. Okay? I have learned from people that learned from Jim Rohn, just like Tony Robbins did, just like Earl Shoaff did, just like learned straight from Jim Rohn. Okay? We have documentation. I can show you my millionaire mentors documentation. And I find that so, so refreshing and so amazing that I can show you that. That's pedigree is what that is. And I have that pedigree. Okay, so let's say if you were going to go out and learn how to dance, let's look at it from a different angle here for a second, okay? So if you were going to learn how to dance, would you ask a neighbor? Would you pay that neighbor to teach you how to dance? I wouldn't, because they are not documented. They don't know how, or they would be selling their service. Right? Correct? Yeah. So if you're going to go out and learn how to fly an airplane, are you going to go talk to your next door neighbor and say, hey, Joe, can you teach me how to fly an airplane? I heard that you rode on one once. I heard that you flew across the country once. Can you teach me how to fly one? That seems absolutely crazy, doesn't it? I can't believe how crazy that sounds. So why would you hire somebody, or why would you listen to someone that really, truly does not know what they're doing? That's what I really want to drill home with this. And I am sorry if I'm getting overbearing with this, but I absolutely love this chapter. It is in a certain way. So the people that learned it to begin with, Wallace D. Wattles, this book was written in 1910. He learned these principles. He taught these principles to Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale, let's follow it the other way. Earl Nightingale taught Earl Schoaf. Earl Schoaf taught Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn taught my mentor. My mentor taught me. Okay? Sorry about that. So that's the end. That's all I have for you today. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow when we go over chapter 4. This is going to be this is going to be chapter 3 that we're going over tomorrow. And let me see, what is chapter 3? Chapter 3, I have it here somewhere. Sorry. Mirror and match. Da-da-da. Oops. Chapter 3 is opportunity monopolized. And I can tell you right now, no, it's not. There's enough in the world to go around. So let's get going. Chapter 3. I'll see you in just a little bit. Bye for now.